Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at some of these charts. In fairness, I'm just going to have a look at Bitcoin really, because Bitcoin's going to govern the entire scenario. So Bitcoin on the 4 hourly, so we had this move up, we had this move down obviously. We've had this move up, which is all from the daily 50 exponential, which is fine because it's all part of a golden cross retest. But, based on the daily, we've got a rejection yesterday on the top of the Bollinger Band, which I suppose is to be expected, so that bounce from here to here was well, it's standard stuff. We've got a bounce from a 50 exponential all the way up to a 20 moving average, around 8.5% move really from the bottom to the top. Now you can't underestimate the power of this support, and also this is a 65% chance that you're going to get a rejection from that level anyway. That's standard Bollinger Band strategy stuff really. So I don't really know what stats go into golden cross retests and reversals, but from my personal experience, just from trading for pretty much a decade and seeing these things play over and over and over and over again, especially on something like Bitcoin or anything that's highly liquid and heavily traded, I'd probably go as far as to say that it's closer to, well, it'll be above 70%, just in my personal experience. And again, these are things you'd really want to backtest on yourself. And this isn't a perfect golden cross retest. I mean, it's a portion of it. It's the upper portion. It counts. Most altcoins have come down to their 200 exponential. Some of them down to their 200 simple, and that's good too, provided Bitcoin can handle itself around here. But so really, what we're doing is we're looking at roughly around a 70% chance that we bounce from here, and also a 65% chance that we reject from here. And if we continue with this sort of range, which it might be for a little while, we'll extend what we would imagine to be the Bollinger Band's trajectory, because again, we're going to start curling down. So again, it's not perfect, so we're just going to give it this straight line, and this is going to continue to sort of like meander up. Effectively, what we've found ourselves in is a symmetrical triangle of sorts, long and thin, that sort of takes us into January really. So this might be where we live. We might not be looking for a big breakout immediately. We might not be looking for a big breakdown immediately. We might basically be living within this range, which, as far as I'm concerned, is great. That's what we would want, right? A reaccumulation, boring. Really boring price action. That would be perfect. We've also got some hidden bullish divergence starting from here, going to here, and we would probably get another drive of this as well. So that's also good for sort of bullish projection. But like I say, until we've reclaimed the Bollinger Band center, until we've broken out of this triangle formation, if that's what you want, if that's what we're going to call it, this is where we live. Supports above 93, resistances below 99, or thereabouts, and one day it will break one way or another. So that's your Bitcoin on a daily. But let's check the 4 hourly. We'll get rid of all this noise because again, it's not a symmetrical triangle. I'm just trying to give you a projection of what those moving averages look like. So looking at it over here, you've got another formation of sorts. You've got your 200 exponential. This is the lower portion of the golden cross on a 4 hourly this time. And again, most altcoins are way below these with death crosses involved. So, altcoins looking a bit tired, sad on the 4 hours. Resistance on the 21 exponential. So, look, it's the same Bollinger Band strategy that's being applied here on a 4 hourly. What makes it more aggressive. Because you've seen the bounce from no man's land, but you've seen a rejection quite clearly on a 21. So the 21 is also resistance, and that comes in at this point now at 98,350. So if you break that, then you find your way back up to that, 99,400 on the daily. Again, not looking for big breaks in either direction at this stage, but if they were to happen, you could confirm them on the daily with closures on the daily above or below those moving averages that we've spoken about. But, it's not the end of the world, but there are certain things on this chart that don't look great. I mean, we're holding above the 200, which is fine. This was where the short signal was generated on the Ichimoku cloud. So Chiku span came below the price action with the red leading portion of the cloud. We had a conversion baseline crossover here, and obviously the price came below, and that obviously could be it. That could have played out at that stage. So I'm not. This isn't a trend signal. This is just a short signal that was generated around here, 97,300, and ended up sort of bottoming down 92,500. So I'm not going to say that there's more to go. It's just worth recognizing that that is a short signal. Hopefully that's played. We don't really. You can't really be certain of it, really, but it is what it is. Yeah, I think a lot of people got to recognize that, and I'm sure most of you do. There is no one sort of thing that you can't just look at a chart and go, it's definitely going to do this. Absolutely 100% going to do this. People often say, why don't you just say exactly what's going to happen? Why do you have to think about both directions, or even what's going on? I don't understand. More than one plan? Yeah. You're going to have more than one plan. My God, can you imagine not having more than one plan? My one plan isn't working. I'm going to stick with the non-working plan. So at the moment, anyway, what I've said based on the daily is what I'm expecting to see. And you will know when it's going to break out or down, because those levels will be, I suppose, invalidated, really. And you will expect continuation in whichever direction it breaks out from or breaks down from. And the 4 hourly is sort of gathering momentum, but I think the daily is the most important part of this. Ethereum, pretty much the same, definitely weaker. You've got the golden cross up here, about to form a death cross, really. Probably at some point next week. So that is not what you'd want to see, but it lags behind everybody else. But the golden cross on the daily still maintains its bullish position. So this is an uptrend on a daily. Believe it or not, it is. Accumulation, breakout, retest hopefully down at the 3,000. So, and that I think is probably the best way to leave it, because Ethereum will help govern the overall strength or weakness of all the other altcoins. We've been waiting for a much bigger breakout for Ethereum, which I'm sure you'll get at some point, and then when that happens, the dominance chart comes tumbling down. You do have a lot of hidden bullish divergence. You've got the money flow index on its ass down here at 33. It's not the lowest it's ever been, absolutely not, but it's pretty low. And the weekly is still quite high. So you've got to recognize all of this for what it's worth. But look, the weekly hit a 21 exponential on the weekly, which again is... so long as we're above, I suppose, even the 20 moving average down here, 2,855 or whatever it was. So long as we're above that, this is still an uptrend on the weekly. So the daily and the weekly still uptrends. And I think this is the thing that I was trying to point out to people on the Telegram. If they're still in uptrends, if they are still above that center range on the higher term time frame, it's still an uptrend. And so dips, I suppose, are for buying, or those dips were for buying. If we do come down to this level or lower, then you buy those, really. Or you consider buying them. I'm not telling you what to do. It's up to you. It's a risky market. We all know that. What I really don't want to become, I will never become, is a signals group. And people asking me, where can I buy exactly and what exact price, and then where shall I sell at what exact price? I said, well, you're asking a stranger, because I am a stranger. You're asking a stranger what to do with your money. I've got $100,000 and I'm looking to deploy it. Can you tell me exactly what? Whoa. That's a problem. You shouldn't be asking random people, even just because I've got a YouTube channel. You shouldn't be asking me to manage your $100,000. That's mad. That's mad. I think for anybody, if you're looking to enter into any financial market of any form, crypto, stocks, whatever, you need to understand it. You need to think about what it is you're doing. Don't try fishing for tidbits off influencers or charlatans or anybody. You've got to be in control of your own money, because ultimately it's your money and you're to blame if it goes wrong, and you're to be congratulated if it goes right. You can't ask people to tell you what to do with your money. That's crazy. All I'm doing is telling you what I expect, because I obviously do this for a living. But just because I do it for a living doesn't mean I know exactly what's going on. There's plenty of mistakes. It's a market which shakes people out. In fact, I don't know if any of you play poker, but I love a game of poker, but I really do feel like financial markets, especially crypto, is a bit like a poker game as well. There's that emotional bluffing aspect to it, and at the moment, as much as we are bouncing from these areas, and we can definitely come down lower, we could be being bluffed with the concept that we're going to move up straight away, whereas really I think it would be much healthier and also more likely that we hang around sideways for the rest of the month and break out somewhere towards the end of the month into the beginning of next year. I think that's most likely. However, we could also break down at that period. So I'm looking for a sideways period now over this next week, literally, over a period of a week for Bitcoin, which could mean that altcoins get slapped around because again, the confidence has fallen out. You rewind a month ago, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, I've got to buy XRP at $2.90." Of course. There was a really popular YouTube channel I saw, and they said it was going to 10, so $2.90 is a perfect entry point. Oh god. Wrecked City. You shall dwell in Wrecked City for a period of time. It's detention for you and your account balance, I'm afraid. So look, confidence has fallen, and it should, and it needed to. If you really want to make money out of the markets, you kind of have to buy low. Most people didn't buy low, so they bought high. Now they might even sell low in order to buy high again some point next year when it rallies up, because the stress of not making money or losing money continuously for a period of a month is too much to handle. Anyway, like I said yesterday, I'm allocated now a good 60% back in the market. So I went from a 10% allocation to a 60% allocation basically overnight. It leaves me 40% to pile in from lower areas. I do have limit orders that weren't filled, but the vast majority of them were filled. So I've got a lot of skin in the game at this point now. So I'm hoping that my conviction and my analysis does turn out to be true, and we do pop out of this probably within the next couple of weeks to the up. Because if we don't, and we do go to the downside, it's going to be a bit of a problem for me. Because, like I say, I do have a particular bias based on what I see. My bias was formed, as I sold, end of November. I think this. I kind of imagined that this was going to happen. It's now happened, allocated appropriately. Now it's just a matter of waiting, just like it was, throughout September, October, when I was allocating, big into altcoins then before it popped. So it's a similar kind of scenario. But I would say, though, if we do break out in January, it will be similar to that of November. It will be another period of a few weeks of up, but I don't think it will extend beyond that. I think what will happen is we'll go back up again. A lot of altcoins perhaps maybe make new local highs, maybe even some new all-time highs, including Bitcoin. This is just what I think is going to happen. And then we will fizzle out February, definitely by March. Consolidate in a much greater fashion. Maybe it's the bear market, maybe it's not, but I don't see how these altcoins can really, or even Bitcoin, has the power to continue immediately to significant new highs without having to come down more dramatically. So we might see ourselves go up to those targets, maybe 112,000 for Bitcoin, and then maybe down into the 80s, perhaps maybe even to the lower 70s at some point early next year. But I would be looking for a big push up first, and then another sort of breakdown, a proper pullback, not what we're seeing right now, more of a longer drawn out sort of consolidation of sorts. Right, that is that. I'll leave it with you there. Hopefully that's not too boring. Please let me know in the channel if you were bored out of your mind, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Right, take it easy. Thanks for watching.